Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome back. This is Areej Alomari. I'm a life coach working with Octarium. It's a pleasure having you here with us. I have a presentation about leadership and in regards to how leaders should interact and what kind of relationship they should have with their employees. When I was invited to speak in this forum, first it's a great honor to be here with you. I started asking myself questions of what do I need to deliver, what kind of added value I can add to the ones who are listening, whether they're employees or leaders or any kind of position. And I thought about myself as a leader. I've been in a leadership positions before, so what did I need to know if I had a number of employees? What kind of information and steps that could help me build a relationship with my own employees in a way that can move forward? And I took this subject and I tried to look at it from three different perspectives, which is before, now, and after. And I know we are running late in time, so I try to be as brief as possible so we won't hold anyone late. Okay, I will start with one of my favorite quotes, and it's one of the quotes that I always have in the back of my mind, which is the only thing that is constant is change. And whether you're a leader or an employee or just if you're even not working, you should always think of change as an indication of life. Change equals life. If you don't have change, most probably you don't have a life. There is change when you have development, when you have growth, when you have a learning opportunity, when you have performance, when you have creativity. All that is a product of change. If you are constant or if you are moving in the same way that you have been moving or living the life of the same routine, then there has to be change. Either you decide to take that change and do it, or something will come up from a forced change and it will be imposed on you, which is what is happening right now. This is the first thing that we need to accept. We need to accept change. And once we accept change and we embrace it, then we can be able to be prepared for it. I know a lot of people are discussing the current situation that we are in right now and saying that it's something that we did not speculate, we did not predict, and this is where everything is shaken up. The thing about change and the interesting part about change is that change is not sudden. It's always there. There's always change going on. The only difference is the level of change. Some changes are drastic and they shift you away from your own track, like what we're experiencing right now. Some changes are mild and some changes are so minor that we don't really recognize them. And we need to understand all levels of change and we need to accept it. And from that, we can be prepared. And when I say we as humans, as individuals, as society, as business, as leaders, all levels of society. And knowing that and accepting that and understanding that change is going to happen, whether you recognize it or not, whether you accept it or not, whether you are prepared for it or not, helps us really appreciate and be grateful for the moment that we have right now. A lot of talk right now is before the corona, we used to do this, we used to go to work, we used to complain about traffic, we used to complain about taking the kids to school. And what was really happening is that we, in that situation where we were before, did not really appreciate the little things that we had. So now we're in this situation where change is imposed on us we need to really be grateful for what we have right now. Because like you said, change is about transformation, it's about growth, it's about development, it's about creativity, it's about thinking outside the box. And I wanted to start with this statement because I wanted to have some kind of common ground where we agree that what is happening is for sure it's change, but it will continue. Whether it's going to continue at the same level where we are right now, or it might go even higher, or it might go lower. Whatever it is, always have change in the back of your mind, thinking that it will continue. It is there, and we need to accept it and embrace it. Okay, so I wanted to start with this, and then I'm going to talk about three aspects of the relationship between the employees and the leaders. And I will be talking about the before, and when I say before, I mean before Corona and before the situation that we are currently in, and now. Then I will finally speak about the after. When I speak about before, what maybe a majority of people did not notice that there, as I mentioned, there was change. There's always change. But the change was so gradual that we did not really panic when it happened. We didn't feel afraid or feel threatened by it, as we feel most of us feel right now. But the truth is that there was change, and the change was in the employees in terms of their own needs. And that impacted a whole spectrum of change. Change in leadership, in management, in technology, in the way we handle customers' needs and complaints, and in the market as a whole. So the change did not happen in one aspect of life. And I'm talking about before Corona. I'm not talking about what's happening right now. I'm talking about before. The change that happened before the situation that we are in, it was really interrelated and each one affected the other. But because it happened so gradually, we didn't take it as a threat or as something that we need to manage as a crisis. And the main change that I want to speak about, or just quickly here want to mention, is the change in the employees' needs. The employees might in the past, and I'm probably talking about 50 years ago or 40 years ago, the changes was in their needs about what they're looking for in an employment. In the beginning, or maybe like 40 years ago, what they were looking for is more something that will just provide them with the basic needs, something that will give them some sort of income where they can feed themselves and feed their family. However, as time passes, their needs has changed. They're more looking into something that they can belong to, something that they can feel part of, something they can contribute to. And then the needs has actually upgraded to self-actualization, to the feeling that, well, this is the place where I want to fulfill my destiny or fulfill my purpose in life. And this is important because if you are in HR, or if you're a leader, if you have done any kind of interviews, I'm sure you have noticed this. You have noticed that people's questions and what they're looking for has changed. And notice that how to fulfill that need. And Tunde was also speaking about the employees' needs. In the crisis right now, we are talking about employees' needs. And this is the main focus of the now. What I want to say about the now is that some employees were going back to the basic needs. Some people are talking about job security. If I can manage to provide food on the table, if I'm going to be able to continue in my job, are they going to cut my salary? All that worries and all that fears. Right now, your job as a leader is to actually understand those needs And it's really interesting how my presentation and what my lecture and what I wanted to say and I wanted to deliver really goes hand in hand with what Tunde was saying, because I believe we as coaches, this is what we focus on. We focus on the individual. We focus on the internal part. And right now, your role as a leader, you need to think about 3 different things before you even start communicating with your employees. What you need to do is look at your values. And if you're a leader, or if you're any person, if you have not done any type of exercise, understanding your own values and identifying your core values, I really advise you to do that. Because based on your values, you'll be able to take the decisions, you'll be able to understand and to know which pathway to take and how to handle the difficult situation that we are in right now. So your first job or your first task to do is look at your values. Are they serving you? Are they helping you to take the decisions that you want? Are they really aligned with how you feel from the inside? Once you do that, or simultaneously, you also look at your vision. And now I'm just focusing as you, as a leader, as an individual, as a human being. I'm not talking about the business, I'm not talking about the employees. I am talking about the person. Once you do the values, or at the same time you work on the vision, where you want to be after this is over, where you want to reach after this is over. And the third thing is, what is the story you want the people, or you want you as a person or as a leader to, what is the story going to be? What is the message that you want to deliver? And all these 3 things are really interrelated. If they're not all connected together, and if they're not moving in the same, and they're not aligned in the same way, then there is a gap, and you need to find out before you even start communicating with your employees. Start with yourself, start with your values, start with your vision, start with thinking about, what is the message that I want to deliver? Do I want to comfort my employees? Do I want to support them? Do I want to push them? Do I want to challenge them? Do I want to interact with them? What is the message you want to deliver? And once you do that, then you start communicating. Then you start thinking about, well, how can I handle this crisis? How can I manage this crisis? What I want to do that really matches what I have in my mind in terms of value and vision and the message and the story that I want to deliver. And I want people, now we're talking about the people. What do I want to hear from the people? I want them to say, thank you very much, now I feel much better. And thank you very much, I feel supported. Thank you very much for giving us a platform to discuss our worries and our fears. And this is what, matching with what Tunde was saying, is that the feelings, people sometimes they get afraid of expressing their feelings, especially if they're trying to meet someone else's expectation. So what they do is just hide their own feelings, or even bury them so deep that they cannot even acknowledge them. They don't even know how they're feeling. So they can say that, no, I am positive, I'm doing well, I'm okay. But deep inside, if they sit with a coach or someone who is specialized in understanding the feelings, they will suddenly reach an aha moment where they, all of a sudden, they have this bubble of feeling that they've been ignoring or putting aside. The problem with positivity is that sometimes we get in the hype of the moment and think that, okay, now I need to think positively. Now I need to show my positive side. Now I need to focus on what is great in my life. Sometimes it's okay to be sad, and it's okay to be afraid, and it's okay to be worried. Acknowledge those feelings. Don't put them aside. And you as a leader, what you want to do once you have all these values and your vision and your story aligned, you need to help your employees express that and find the shared values and find the shared vision and share together what your stories want to be. Once you understand yourself and then get connected with your own employees, then you have a full picture of what your business is going to be. And don't be afraid to express your own feelings. If you as a leader don't know what's going to happen, if you are worried, if you don't know what's going to happen and no one knows what's going to happen, then express that. Be authentic and be really a source of trust for the employees. Once you are authentic and you're true to yourself, the employees will trust you and they will be able to put their hands together with you to move forward, to move this business forward. And once you tell them we are facing this challenge, how do you see we can overcome? They will be involved and they will be engaged and they will have some ownership to the place that they belong to. Instead of isolating yourself away from those emotions and saying, let's do the business, let's get things done, and let's take this opportunity and or evolve this crisis that we have into an opportunity, focus on the positive. That is a good thing, that is a positive thing, and that could be part of your message. But also acknowledge the negative part, acknowledge the emotions, acknowledge the worry. And one of the things that I want to mention in here is that I've heard a lot of complaints from employees saying that there is a gap of communication because there is no physical contact. This distance created a gap in communication. And as a leader, we need to understand the methods of communicating that can help employees really understand what's going on, and not just saying that you need to do this and you need to do that and where is this, why didn't you deliver it. You need to reassure them of what communication methods that you can use back and forth, not just one way, not just from a leader to employees, but back and forth, going two ways of how they can communicate with you. When can they communicate with you? And look at their needs. We talked about survival needs. We talked about how some families or some employees are living with their families. They don't even have a private place in their own home, or they have a place where they can work with full concentration. Some employees, they really miss the human contact. So be authentic and be flexible and be okay to speak about these things. And maybe you won't find a solution, a perfect solution. But once you open, be open and be accepting and give them the opportunity to express how they feel, then they will find their own solution. They will find their own ways to cope with the situation. So this is a very important thing that I think will add value. Like I said in the beginning of the lecture, when I started bringing this content together for this lecture, I was thinking about how I can add value. And I think this is one of the most important things that can add value to you as a leader and as an employee. And don't be afraid to share this with your teammates and with your colleagues and even with your superior, and help them to give you that, if you're an employee, to give you that opportunity and that platform to express and to share. Okay? And you need to, once you understand your values and your stories and your vision, you need to actually really think hard about what do you want. You as a leader and with your own employees. What do you want from yourself? What are you expecting from yourself? And what are you expecting from your employees? Like I said, there's a lot of complaint that I've been hearing since the coronavirus about not just being afraid, but not having any kind of regulations or a kind of system where the employee feels really trapped about being present and being always available whenever their manager or their leader calls them, even if it's in inconvenient hours. And so work on that, work on setting the expectation, on setting the rules and regulations, so both you as a leader and the employee feel that there's something that works for all of us. It's a new situation, it's a new change, it's something that was probably not speculated by a lot of people. The whole world didn't know what's going on, even though there's some people who actually predicted this, but we won't go into that. But the thing is, understand the situation and understand you as a leader individually from internally, and then start communicating to your employees. The last part here is about the after. And this might be a little shocking, and maybe people don't want to think about it. People are really excited about going back to the normal life and going back to work and going back to my office and going back to the meetings that we have face to face. But what if this is maybe a hard question, but what if this is the new reality? What if this is the new way of doing business? And the first speaker, Mr. Hani, he was speaking about that. And he was saying that business will change. Business won't not be the same as it was. So don't really put your hopes up on having life going back to where it was, because this is not the purpose of change. Change is there to take things and flip them upside down, and to actually have some sort of transformation that can lead to a very important and very needed development and very needed changes that can help people live a better life. So if you're a leader, don't think or don't just wait for things to be back to normal, because unfortunately or fortunately, it won't be the same. Things might go back to normal to some degree, but definitely there will be some major changes. People might question the working hours. People might question having face-to-face meetings. If we have done it for the past few weeks, why can't we continue doing it? It's been working for probably majority of the businesses. It's been working well. Maybe we don't need to work 5 days a week. Maybe we don't need to work from 9 to 6 or 8 to 5. So start thinking about the changes that will happen and the needs of the employees and the needs of the business and the market and the customers. How is that going to change after the coronavirus? What will the needs be? And try to really expand your thinking. Don't limit your things about, well, I need to be more aware of the health issues and make sure that the environment is healthy and it's clean. This is one area. Broaden your perspective and think about more of the needs of your employees. What would they need afterwards? What kind of work environment do they need? What kind of work culture would they need? What kind of leadership style would they need? Would they need something that is the same as the past, whatever the past was, or they need something different? And try to actually put different scenarios. And by putting different scenarios, you will be able to come up with some sort of idea. And then from that idea, you will be able to prepare yourself as a leader and as a business. Okay, I hope that is clear. I know we are running out of time, and I'm really sorry about that. But the last thing I want to say, because this forum is about crisis management and it's about coaching and it's about leadership. And this is a really important relationship between change, coaching, and leadership. Whenever you have change, you need coaching. And whenever you have leadership, you need coaching. So coaching, leadership, and change, they really go together, because leaders actually, in one of the books that I've read, the Leadership Challenge, was saying that the actual work of leaders is to create change, because leaders don't really they're not really excited about sustainability or going or being consistent. They always want change, because as we said, change creates development, creates creativity, creates a learning environment, creates growth, creates performance. So this is where the coaching can really help. And this is where coaching can really be a major player in this crisis that we are in right now. And once you understand what the coaching is, and it's about giving the person, whoever you are coaching, whether it's you as a coach with a leader or leaders with their employees, you are working with believing in the person that you're working with, believing that they have the potential, believing that they have the choice, believing that they can do it, and believing that they are the ones who create their own agendas. You cannot impose things on them. You cannot say to them, well, you need to do 1, 2, 3. And if you have any information about coaching, coaching is about not giving advice and not giving any sort of guidance and giving them direct instructions of what to do. It's different than consultancy or any similar professions. Coaching is about really acknowledging the person that you are talking to and really giving them or believing in them that they have the potential and they know the best solutions that works for them and achieving their goals on their own agenda. Okay, just finishing up with this quote. This is talking about coaching. It's from a book. It's a wonderful book about coaching called Coaching for Performance, and he describes coaching as it's the way of leading and managing, a way of treating people, a way of thinking, and a way of being. I know I'm running out of time and I apologize, but I would love to hear if you have any questions. I will open the chat. Okay. Does anyone have any question? You can just open the mic. Or you can write it in the chat. I have the chat in front of me. Thank you, Siham. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for being with us today. I just want to remind you that this is only the first day. Tomorrow we will start at the same time at 8:30, and we have very exciting and influential speakers. And also, if you are interested to join our leadership coaching program, it will be next month, and it will be online, and it will be presented by me and Tunde. If you have any information, if you need any information, please contact Octarium. And thank you, everyone, for being here. We will see you tomorrow.